They did the thing and they show you. They were like, oh, tell each other something you don't know about each other, innit? Did you see it?
Yeah, but I can't remember though.
And you like, I used to fancy your sister.
Oh, fam.
Oh, that is fun.
Fam.
Anyway.
Fam.
I couldn't believe it.
Nah.
That's what I need now.
Nah,
this
brother.
is certified acting. There's no way, bro. You know that? Remember that video back in the days, like Steven in front of the camera? Am I a dickhead in life? In front of the camera, you want to tell the whole world this?
Oh my days.
That is jokes. I remember that.
Like Steven, am I a dickhead in life?
That was what's it? Femi Matt Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
I remember that still.
That's actually jokes.
Man said I used to fancy your sister.
Bro, it's crazy.
Brother, you told that to your girl.
And then her rebuttal was
actually
like,
insane.
I made the OnlyFans.
Oh,
Nah, you know, genuine fraud. I honestly,
Like this, you catch it.
Watch your face. As in, fam, I can't even lie. Now remembering it and how I felt at the end, I genuinely don't want to watch it again. Genuinely.
I think that was the finale though.
Is it?
I think so.
Alright, that's calm, man.
I think it might have been.
The other people must feel kind of. Imagine seeing like bare jokes about like the poor and trauma.
I say.
Oh, you doing? What the flip?
You know what's so funny?
You doing?
You're so funny. You know,
What?
the last few episodes, yeah, Eman has been leaving bare rubbish in the episodes, fam.
Like what?
Nah, bare stuff that we're talking about that should just not go in there. Yeah, you've left in there.
Like what?
Just obviously, I'm not gonna remember off the top of my head right now, but I remember listening to it and I was like, fam.
Nah, man.
This is like us doing admin right now, and you left it in there.
Have you listened?
Because he loves the candid thing.
The fam, the candid thing, it slaps.
I hear it, but still.
The candid thing slaps, bro.
When we're doing admin, let's just look it in it. And then
It's just because there's bare stuff that didn't make it, brother. They're thinking, fam.
yeah, it's true.
Oh,
It's
bro.
true.
You know some of the stuff that didn't make the cut, fam.
Some of the stuff that didn't make it.
You know, like entire bits that just
But
had to chop.
yeah.
I just thank God that certain bits didn't make it because
Honestly,
certain bits here, it's just
it's too candid.
it can't work.
Yeah,
It can't work still. It's funny though. One day you should give one special episode of
just outtakes.
or just outtakes.
No context, just very different.
Just very different for that 60 episodes. Very different outtakes. No, we can do it though. Anyway, it's Hendo. These things will be the worst. I want the outtake stuff. Your
outtakes will be the baddest though.
Your outtakes will be the worst, bro.
Not more recently though, because I feel like we're on a journey, innit? You know what I mean? And I feel like the way that you like making it sound is like, man, it's still. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're doing better still.
You're doing better, but that just actually shows the extent.
One day you're doing better.
that shows the extent to which your outtakes are just worse. If that we're talking about a year ago.
But no. But if we're talking about now,
Whose outtakes are worse?
last 6 episodes.
It's still the worst.
No, last 6 episodes.
Out of
your
all-
outtakes are definitely the worst.
He's out.
My what?
Yes. Because remember the Would You Rather episode where he was talking bare rubbish?
That's the only one there.
That's
the only
one, yeah.
Exactly, but who else has said anything wild in the last 6 episodes?
I feel like that's the wildest thing that's been said. But overall, it would be you.
In the last 6 episodes, what is there? I haven't had anything.
Why 6 though? Why say 6?
But because I'm just trying to say recent history, innit? So there's nothing that's been
the
said.
last 6 have been fine.
Exactly, and that's why it would be him. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
If you're doing the last 20,
yeah, definitely.
If he did nothing wild as he said in the last 20, bro.
But
I can't remember where. My assumption is that it's just you.
Exactly, and that's the problem. Man. That's what I wanted to get to.
He starts overacting there, bro. That's how you know he's gassing. He starts overacting that.
I'm not actually overreacting, but what I'm trying to say is that the fact that what you just said now, what Eman just said now is real honesty, as in he just assuming it's me because of what's happened in the past, and that's what I got to deal with. It's actually true, bro.
Oh my days, fam.
So imagine when someone does something to me that they know I don't like here, before I can even get angry, they're already acting like I'm angry. Do you know how annoying that is? Fam, do you know how annoying that is, bro? Stop anticipating or trying to anticipate what I'm gonna do, bro. That's actually annoying, fam. It's actually annoying, bro. And the maddest thing is, yeah, like I said to you, look, more recently I've been trying to do the thing where I'm deliberately not just doing the normal thing or just getting angry or whatever it is. Yeah. I'm deliberately trying to be like, okay, cool. Alright, let me do the opposite of what I would normally do. Or whatever.
No, I hear you. Even if I listen back to like the first maybe 10 episodes, it would just be so funny, innit? Because even the way I think now could be completely different.
Yeah,
so I could have been saying stuff in number 1, yeah, and I'm thinking, now I'm looking back at it thinking,
you changed the most in the way that they think since the first episode.
Eman.
Me so.
Probably. It'll be interesting to ask people as well.
But I think that's because
they will be able to hear it.
I think that's because, if I'm being honest, I think me and you are more stubborn than Eman is. So I think when we've got a certain idea, we're more. Don't get twisted. We can still change our minds and all the rest of it, but I think we're more sensitive to change.
More stubborn,
yeah, mate. But you know, it is again, yeah. You might disagree, but it's like if I say something, I'm not even gassing. Certain things, yeah, like they're well thought through.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So because they're well thought through,
exactly,
yeah,
it's not going to change that much.
It's not going to change that much.
If it changes at all.
Bare times, yeah, it's like, don't get twisted. For most things, yeah, there's already a space for error that I'm allowing. Yeah, so it's not even like I'm saying it's 100%. Yeah. So what you're saying could be true.
And that's exactly. And that's the thing. So people see me as someone that talks very sharp and very direct, and I don't miss my words and all the rest of it. But still, at the same time, yeah, if I'm that kind of person, would I still not know that there's room for error in life? Like, it doesn't make sense. Of course, and that's why when I'm having conversations with people, more time I'm just like, cool. Do you know what? In this conversation, yeah, where we're just trying to talk about general themes and that, can we just avoid talking about minorities, or let's just talk about what happens the majority of the time for the average person? Because
it's true though.
But do you know how annoying it is to caveat conversations with that all the time?
The caveat things, the caveat that not everybody says.
Yes,
you actually don't have to.
Exactly.
Not everybody does anything.
No, it's
not anything. Not everyone does anything.
There's someone.
We know what we're saying.
It's not something here that 100% of the people on this earth does. None.
There's someone who I always have conversations with, and I always have to say, like they're like, but that's possible. I say, listen, yes,
anything is possible
because anything is possible. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
It is possible because anything is possible.
When you have conversations with people that say stuff like that, it's like there's no point even talking about anything because you can just say that about anything.
Don't get twisted. Certain conversations, it makes sense for them to be like, no, but because there is, there's blurred lines sometimes where it's like, actually the minority are only, let's say, so it's only like 60-40. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Rather than 80% of the people do this and 20% do this. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So in them situations, it might make sense to make that comment about, alright, cool, but there's a lot of people that are doing this. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But other than that, a lot of the time that I'm talking about, the conversation I'm talking about, it's like, fam, everybody and their dog knows that, raw.
this is
the standard that everyone really sticks to.
It's something like, imagine I'm now, like, majority of people, like, they love water. You're like,
not everyone likes water. Some people are allergic. Some people are allergic to water. Some people are. Why are you saying that?
Using what the 6 people. There's like 89 million people with that water, bro. Only 6.
And it's just like, bro, like, alright, cool, man. I hear what you're saying, but alright, cool, man.
That thing is rough. Not everybody.
Bro, and you know when they do the thing, the high horse thing, where it's like, alright, cool, but I'm not trying to be like everybody. Alright, cool, man. That's great, bro. Like love for that still. Like,
you know what it is?
Like Godspeed and that.
It's the deviation. Don't deviate from what we're talking about.
Man.
Stop deviating from what we're talking about, man.
And then, simple things.
Different points.
Simple things to understand, you know. Simple things.
And don't hide behind your opinion as well. It's like, it's just my opinion. But fam, just because you don't want to carry on having the conversation.
Yeah. But one thing I say, and I was saying it the other day to my brethren, I was like, bro, listen, I'm actually done with trying to convince people to agree with, man.
Nah, hey.
As in, you know when we say we don't have to do this?
Yeah.
Bro, we can agree to disagree.
Yeah. Which is fine.
Like, that's one of the things that I say the most, because listen, a lot of people say they don't like conflict, they don't want conflict and all the rest of it, but I genuinely don't, because do you know what it is as well? Yeah, there's so many different aspects to conflict that I don't want to surround myself or involve myself in. I don't want to get upset, I don't want to get worked out, I don't want to get angry, I don't even want to experience any of those emotions. I don't want to even think as far as thinking that, like this person that I'm talking to, like I don't want you around because like the way that you're thinking is actually pissing me off. Do you know what I'm saying?
I won't lie though. That's that kind of thing is that. Remember the other day?
Yeah.
Fam, there was one that discussion I was having with someone. I was just thinking that you thinking like this now has made me change the way that. Like,
I see. And that's what people need to understand.
But it's because as well, yeah. I just never expected it. So I'm gonna like maybe if it was a thing where that's how I thought the person was anyway, I'd just be like, okay, cool. But I had no. It's like I talked to a different person. I had no clue. Do you get me? So I was like, oh, right, do you get me? But in general, so that kind of, I hear what you're saying in that. When I clock hold on, that's what you're like. I'm like, oh. So now, if I'm around you again,
you already, you know what.
I know what it is. So there's certain lanes I'm not going to enter.
You're just not going to go.
Yeah, exactly. And you know it is, you know, sometimes when you have a certain image built up in your head about someone, or you think they're a certain way, as soon as they show you that they're not that way, then that's kind of slightly the reason why you was liking them a little bit. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because you thought that this was their personality. So because of that, not necessarily saying that you're going to like them less, but then it's like it's like a new relationship kind of thing. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I hear you.
You're
You can
assessing
get
it
to that,
differently
yeah,
now.
you
Do you get
can
what I'm trying to say? Like, so yeah, and you know when the thing that I used to hate the most, which I've just had to listen in my mind now, it's just like people changing their minds. That's fine. Anyone's liable. Like anyone can change their mind. It's their prerogative. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But I used to, oh my days. Listen, if you said something on January the 1st, 2011, in January 1st, 2018, you better not have changed your mind. I used to be like that still. Can't even lie to you. Like, listen, say what you mean and mean what you say, innit? And be consistent. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
That
you say
is
you're gonna do
too
something,
funny.
do it. And make sure what you said
That
that you're
is
going to do
actually
is
too
what
funny
you've done.
still. Because think about how much change could occur in that time.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But that's obviously drastic, innit?
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because obviously that's different phases of life, adolescence and
Yeah.
adults. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
So then, in terms of in adulthood, yeah, if you are so adamant on something one day, yeah, please, like.
No, it's though.
But do you know what it is? But at the same time, if you're so adamant on something that's wrong, I do want you to change your mind, which is kind of mad. So it's like a catch-22. But at the same time, please don't be so wrong and strong here, and then. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
It happens though.
If you're mad adamant about something on Monday, and then you change your mind on Friday, just tell me you change your mind.
Yeah.
Tell me you change your mind.
Word.
That's what it is.
Word.
Don't quack now. Tell me you changed it now because you're going too hard.
Exactly. And this is it.
Tell me you change your mind.
You know that's the thing that pisses me off the most. Yeah. You know when people try to just meander through, like, different opinions. So this is what I was always saying. No, it's not. You've actually changed your tune.
Before we was having a full blown and you were on the full other side.
You changed your tune. So just be like, Rod, you know what? I've changed my tune. Listen, you know if you say, to be fair, I've changed my mind. My mouth is closed.
Yeah.
The other day, I was talking to some people about misogyny. Misogynoir. I was just like, right, listen, like all of these terms, yeah, like they're all these new school terms that, don't get twisted, not everyone fully understands, yeah, and people are just using it for plaudits because not everyone understands it. You look to the people that have the knowledge, like when you're talking in public spaces,
seemingly as well.
So exactly. So then, and then what's happening is everyone's regurgitating what they've heard before. So we're having a conversation now, and then these people are like, right, like women can't be misogynists, yeah, and they're saying that because the reason why you can't be a misogynist as a woman is because you have to be in a position of power, and women aren't seen as a position of power to another woman. And they're speaking about racism, and they were like, racism only occurs when like it's a position of power.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, but that's not true though, because it's nothing to do with power. Because actually, a random hobo on the street who's white could go to a professional black man and still be racist to that person. It's not about he individually doesn't have power over that person. It's the communities. I understand. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because it's like obviously a minority community that you're addressing. But I was like, I was like, listen, let me Google the actual definition of this word, innit? Because right now, everyone's saying stuff.
But that's we don't necessarily know the actual definition.
So I Googled the definition, and the definition was basically talking about prejudice and hatred towards women. And the whole thing of them being inferior. So actually, if a woman can perpetuate misogynistic views or talk in a way that's seen as misogynistic, then they can be a misogynist. Is the conclusion that we came to.
Yeah.
And you know what it is, yeah? The person who was talking about it, and they were so strong in terms of, it's about power, yeah. One thing I admired the most was that they were like, do you know what? To be fair, I'm taking correction because this is what I thought it was before, but obviously we've gone through it now, and this is what I'm understanding. Yeah. And I actually like that better. Yeah. And the thing is, yeah, that kind of, the person I'm talking about as well, yeah, bro, as in, she is not scared to talk loudly about anything. She talks loudly most of the time. As in, like, don't talk over her when she's talking. She will try and send for that kind of person. You guys, so it was good to see that someone that's like a strong person, all the rest of it, bold and all the rest of it, can still take correction in public. In this day and age where it's like you have to be an expert in everything you talk about.
That's what it is as well, fam. It's like I didn't know this before, and now I know this. Thank you, innit? It's not exactly. It's not like.
Just because someone's correcting,
that's when they're trying to look down on you, man. That's where it comes from, because you
the whole criticism
you view it as raw, like they think they're smarter than me, therefore they're better than me, and then all of that. That's the overriding thing, innit? It's always like, fam, if you're actually telling me something that I didn't know, thank you. Yeah. I don't actually like. I'm not saying this because I'm the guy.
But this is my view, innit? It's easy to say that, until the person who's actually giving you the information is mad condescending. Or
that's different. I guess that's different though.
That's when you start to.
So then
you start fighting back now.
Because in that instance,
it's not about the point no more. It's just about the fact that you're not gonna get You're not gonna get one
but
over.
then that
man.
person is that sort of person that's doing the whole thing. But because I know this,
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
less than me,
yeah,
innit?
yeah.
So basically,
Yeah,
so
that's
there was I can't remember exactly what was said yet, but I just ignored it. But it was like, so another female was like, basically, or another woman was like, like you need to do your research because what we're telling you is that it's a vision of power. And I don't think it's doing all of that stuff in it. And I was just like, listen, I'm just asking a question. Like, I'm literally reading the definition, and the other girl was like, nah, he's actually just picking our brains, to be honest. Like,
I'm not trying to beef you, innit?
Listen, do you know what it is? But it's managing that. You have to manage. You have to have the hat on that. Listen, I'm going to manage any pushback now because
you have to manage it.
Because this is the world that we're in now.
Because that can now spiral into something
and you
else.
have to be calm when you're doing it, you know.
Yeah.
Because anyone will chat rubbish about anything that you say, bro. Do you guys understand? Someone is waiting to be offended. Listen, to be honest, I'm just asking the question. You know what I mean? And I made sure when I'm reading the definition, I'm saying, alright, cool. Are we sure that women can't be misogynist because boom, 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 and then they started talking about women can't be misogynist, they can only be misandrous, which is the opposite, where it's prejudice and hatred towards men. And I was like, no, but that's men, one's women. So you can show prejudice to a woman and to a man and be a woman or a man. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, the thing about when you talk about like racism and that kind of stuff, it's so hard because it's like there's no real central point, of like what is the real definition. Even the dictionary, it's not even being silly, but it wasn't written by black people.
That's literally what I was gonna say.
Do you know what I mean?
Because white people that wrote
So it's like over years, the definition of these things have been added to, and like more sense has been given to certain things. So it's like it's so hard. It's
evolving, isn't it?
It's evolving all the time. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm using a definition from 2000s, but then there's been a study conducted, another definition came 2005. It's like, okay, where are we? What definition are we using? Do you know what I mean? Because that whole position of power element of, okay, you can't be racist or misogynist. Like, do you get me? These things are relative. When I say like later, they've been developed later on. I don't mean like 5 years ago or nothing, but just later on in comparison to when the original term was used. Do you know what I mean? So they just developed so much over time. So even certain discussions like that, So I remember I was in somewhere the other day, and basically my conclusion, two people were having a discussion. I was like, no, like none of you are actually wrong. I was like, none of you are wrong. By the way, that's it.
And that's it.
It's just like none of you are wrong.
Sometimes that's just it as well. Remember you said one time, like, so what I'm saying can exist as well as what you're saying. I'm not actually trying to disprove you. So I don't actually want to argue with you. I'm just making a point aside your point.
Literally.
Brother.
People, and that's what it is. You can just, unless it's something where it's like was 2 + 2, bare time. You can just both be right.
I think sometimes people want things that have massive grey areas. They want them to be black and white. And I used to be one of those people as well. To be fair, I just wanted there to be clear definitions for things, and that's why I would do something like be like, alright, cool. What's the definition of this word? Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes, you know, it is. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
but I'm for both sides basically. And I'm for the side where, alright, cool. Understand life is not all black and white. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But I'm also for the side where it's actually, if there's a definition for a term, can we stick to that definition? Rather than saying what it means to me. What does it mean to like the 6 billion people, trillion people in the world?
And that's the thing about me as well. And I thought that's a serious point in that I'm very much like, look, two things can be true. But I'm also that, fam, don't make something true that's not.
Exactly.
Like we can't say that. Like
speaking my truth or our truth or your truth.
We have to be careful.
That's one of the things I can't even lie.
We have to be careful.
How could sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to be sensitive about this topic, but fam, speak your truth. It's like you're actually coercing someone to lie. Speak your truth, or I'm speaking my truth.
Yeah, man.
Why is it your truth and not the whole truth, bro?
Yeah.
Why? No. Why is the truth subjective to you?
I remember having a conversation.
No, do you know what it is? Can I just ask? Listen, I don't know. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it stems from. If someone can educate me on where it actually came from, what it actually means, and why it's so necessary and it's so potent in this day and age, please, like, feel free to reach out. Feel free to reach out, like, DM. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, because that to me, it just seems like even when you're trying to encourage someone to talk about their story, do not tell them to speak their truth. tell them to speak the truth.
The truth.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
But you
Tell them
know-
to speak
yeah.
the truth. Because even then, what you're doing, even if you're trying to encourage someone to speak out on something, yeah, and you say speak your truth, you're watering down whatever they say anyway. Because now you're making it seem like the truth is subjective
I'm
to
trying
them
to think
alone.
actually, what is an example?
That's what I'm trying to
I
think
think
of
you
as
know
well.
what it is though. Maybe
It's more so like, say for
It's,
example,
it's
like
normally a
something.
certain sensitive issue.
Yeah,
to be
but
honest.
say for example, something happens here, and in the situation to you, it's a completely different thing than to one person, innit? But the situation is the same. So
Yeah,
in
but
that,
you know
it's
though.
like, so the truth is kind of like, what is the truth in that situation? So before, obviously, we're talking about
There's
like,
three sides to every story.
yeah, exactly.
But
So
you know
obviously, we're
what?
talking about like,
Some
before we're
side
talking
of
about
the
like definitions and stuff like that. That's obviously, those things are like black and white there, innit? You can look at it, and this is what it is, innit?
But
But
then,
there's situations that can
even
happen that all three of us can have literally different accounts of
Yeah,
the exact
yeah.
same thing.
But then, why would the question be speak your truth? So why would
If
the
we're speaking
question,
to you,
but it would be
But
this
you know,
I'm
exactly,
being
hey,
pedantic.
hey,
But
I
why
know
would
what you mean,
you?
though. Because
Why
in
would
that
the question
scenario-
to you?
Why
in
would
that
the question
scenario-
just be speak the truth?
But
and
then
then
the truth would
everybody
be-
speaks
the
it,
truth-
and then
and then-
the truth.
but then the truth would be, in that instant, the truth would be that individual's
Can I explain
truth
something to you?
anyway.
Can I explain
Yeah,
something to you
it would
quickly?
be, it would
Can I explain
be.
something to you
But the
quickly?
question wouldn't be
So what's
your
seeping in?
truth.
So what's exactly, and what's seeping in is emotions and how you've received something rather than what's actually happened. That is why it will be speak your truth from my personal.
Because I
opinion.
understand, speak because essentially when you
The
speak,
truth is saying
when you
speak
speak the
facts.
truth, it will be
your truth.
It's going to be your truth because you're gonna. It's how you see in the situation. You're gonna say. But then why is the leading question speak your truth and not
So there's what
the
happened.
truth? And so what happened?
I think, is it more is it like empowering when you say your truth, as if like,
I heard that.
like it
Yeah,
belongs
yeah,
to
yeah.
you?
But that's what
like
I'm
you're
saying, the
able to-
encouragement thing, innit? But
It's
then,
encouragement,
but
yeah.
my thing is just that. So in that scenario where there's three of us, us three here, I'm like recalling a situation, and someone says, "Rah, like, cool, speak your truth." If someone says speak your truth, obviously I can't really do it for us because we're not that emotional in it, but like you'll start recalling this. Cool, so this is the way it made me feel. Like kind of thing will be seeping into the story that you're telling. This is from my perspective. This is how I understand it happens, innit? But then if you're like speak the truth, everyone has to speak about it in a way that's factual. Cool. So we all arrived at this location at so and so time, roughly at so and so time.
There will be facts to speak.
This is what was said. This is what was said. This is what happened. There's no this is what was said and it made me feel like this, so I did this and do you guys want to say? Because it starts becoming a whole load
But then
more subjective.
But
It's
then
not
what
the-
about room for? So imagine like something small where it's like, all right, we're speaking the truth but then
something triggers you more than it
you've
triggers
done
someone else.
something that's like no people say, your shoes are nice, but for me that tone that you said your shoes are nice, it's a bit condescending, fam.
Yeah.
But the truth is, all you've said is your shoes are nice.
Yeah.
But
But then the
my truth
condescending tone
I know that
adds.
that's
But then,
condescending.
so then, for example, in that scenario, I'll literally just be like, right, he said that my shoes are nice, and then do you get what I'm trying to say? That's it. You said my shoes are nice in terms of a factual way. If I'm talking about it in a factual way, but if I wanted to say that right, it was condescending. I would say that it's condescending. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But then the point I'm trying to make here is that like if I said that and then you record the same story, you said that you wasn't being condescending when you said it. It's still not my truth and your truth. It's just that's just a matter of perspectives. So it shouldn't be your truth and my truth though.
Yeah.
Because what happens is when you're talking your truth, it's like, cool, no, what actually happened was this.
But
You said it in a
perspective is your
condescending-
truth though, because it's the way you see
it's
things.
not, because it's not. Nah, that's. But do you know what it is? True to who? Just you. And that's the problem.
But then
You
people
know what
can
I'm
share.
saying?
People can share the same.
But my thing is, listen.
I'm thinking it. Yeah,
No, but my thing is,
your perspective, your truth.
It's what you believe to be true. Innit?
No, but cool. Listen, let's do what I said I like to do.
Definitions
Definitions.
of what
Of
perspective. Or truth.
While you're googling that, did you not watch the that show on BBC?
Which one?
Subnormal.
Nah, you know.
Oof. Heartbreaking. So basically,
what thing?
Subnormal.
No.
Basically, you're talking about, is it early, maybe in the 50s or so, or 60s or 7, I can't remember, but maybe basically when like a lot of the Caribbeans came over to the UK, like they were put in schools, and you know the terms then was really, they were crazy. So that educationally backwards, that's what they used to call certain students, innit?
So you're really getting angry.
Bruv, so what it was, is that the state England, they were, the Caribbean kids that came over, they were now sending them to special schools, But back then, a lot of the Caribbean adults thought special, like the way they would said it was like, they're gonna get special
Special as in
treatment,
good special.
like it's gonna be smaller classes, But really and truly, it wasn't that. They were sending them all to schools that were like basically
The worst.
The worst. And the special schools was for students who they just didn't believe. They called them educationally backwards. Do you get me?
Crazy.
And they were basing it on 3 things, yeah. And I'm going to tie it back to the thing. So they're based it on an IQ test they made everyone take, obviously perceptions, and like the general thought process of the time. So the IQ test they were taking, yeah, and there was a black psychologist at the time who was helping them take the test. Because she was thinking, no, like, because the black kids were doing relatively lower than the white kids, innit? But then she clocked that.
Questions.
The questions, hold on.
What are you asking these?
What are you asking them? So one question will be like, okay, like, what is, I don't know, like,
What's the key ingredient in pie and mash?
Like, what's the tap?
Did you hear what he said?
What'd he say?
What's the key ingredient in pie and mash?
No, but bro, like, literally,
Something that's
they'll-
mad
something
specific
that-
to
yeah,
culture.
yeah.
they'll be like, oh, so like, name this thing. And none of the black kids will be able to name it. So obviously they felt that.
Oh yeah.
And then she was like, no, you must know what this is. So she went to the classroom, she stopped the black kids and said, what's this? They were like, it's a pipe. Yeah. But they were talking about a tap. But obviously in the Caribbean, they called it a pipe.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
Or they'll ask something like, how far do you think London is to Dublin? And these were IQ tests. But obviously, how is a black kid meant to know
Yeah,
this question?
especially one that's just come from the Caribbean.
Just come from the Caribbean.
Yeah, of course. 100%.
Two, they were doing perception at the time. You know, there was a perception that when you're black, you're born with deficiency. So you're born with educational
It's actually
deficiencies.
insane.
And 3, naturally, when you are black, you're and still today troublesome. You're labeled as troublesome quicker
Yeah.
than you are
That's a
as
troublesome.
troublesome. You're named as troublesome more than your white counterparts, regardless. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, yeah. So back to the your truth and their truth.
Yeah.
Their truth could have been taken as the black kids just aren't smart.
Nah, that's not the
But
truth.
no, but it's not. No, but understand what I'm saying. It's not the actual truth, but at the surface level, yeah. At the surface level of it, it would have been.
That's what would have been
No,
accepted.
would that be the
but
truth?
it's deeper than the surface level. So let me explain it. In that scenario, the truth is that you were given an IQ test that wasn't.
Yeah, that is the
tailored-
truth.
That is the actual reality of the
Yeah,
situation.
yeah,
Do you get what I'm trying to say? So basically, the definition for truth here is it says the quality or state of being true. That's the noun. Then it says that which is true or in accordance with fact or reality. Yeah, a fact or belief that is accepted as true. Yeah. So for example, yeah.
So it's when
But,
it's accepted,
but
because you said a belief. So when it's
No,
accepted as true,
but
does
when
that
it's
make
talking
it
about
true?
accepted as truth, the example is the emergence of scientific truths.
But then remember, there was a point whereby scientifically a truth was that, like you're saying, that we're born deficient and that was a truth at a time.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But then truth can change and that.
It's true.
No, but
And realities
but the
change
thing
as
is-
well.
Yeah, no, 100%. But the thing is, but if we're talking about we're in one situation. So we're not talking about how truth is developed over time.
Yeah.
We're not talking about how a fact is developed over time, because science, Darwin's theories and all of these other theories and all the rest of it, everyone talks about science being a collection of facts, but it's all something that was not always true.
Theoretical, innit?
Theoretical, exactly. It's theories that have now been
Disproved.
passed off as fact. Or
some-
they
yeah,
either
in some
been
cases,
disproved or
yeah.
they passed off as fact, sort of thing, because no one has disproved them. So that's not the situation that we're talking about. We're talking about we're all in one situation. One scenario has occurred, sort of thing, and all 3 of us are there. So in that scenario, yeah, what the reality of the situation is actually going to be what has happened. So what has actually been said, and all the rest
And
of
seen
it.
and
For
stuff,
example, yeah, like I could imagine, I don't know for a fact because I'm not a police officer, but when you're when you're interrogating someone, sorry, not intimidating, which to be
Which
fair,
is
one of the
the
same
same thing, yeah.
to be fair, but when you're interrogating someone, you're going to ask them about the reality of the situation. You're going to, or whatever they say, you're going to deduct the facts of the situation from the 3 people, from us 3. So let's say it's us 3 that are being interrogated. They're going to, from everything we say, they're going to deduce facts from what we said. As in, they're going to be like, alright, cool. So they all were at this location at this point. They were all drinking these drinks. They were all talking to these people. They all left at this time. Do you get what I'm trying to say? All of the little bits in between, yeah, where it's like, alright, cool. This person said this thing and it was condescending. This person, I was just trying to be nice, but I was taking it. You see how you said the other day, yeah, that sometimes you say stuff like, "Oh, that's excellent," and people think that you're being sarcastic, but actually you're just like, "No, that's excellent." Sort of thing. All of that kind of stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? But the reality of the situation is, what the actual fact is, you have said that's excellent.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that's why. So I'm the kind of person in that scenario, yeah, I would be like, listen, what I said to you is that's excellent. I'm not being condescending to you.
Yeah.
Now that I've told you, I'm not being condescending to you. If you continue in that vein saying that, raw, you thought I was being condescending to you, but I've told you the truth of the situation. I've told you the facts. You're the one that's then spun it and said your truth is. I don't even think that your truth works in that scenario.
Yeah.
Really.
Because even in that scenario as well, it's specifically with the police kind of example, innit?
Yeah.
Like, each individual is accounting here, so they're trying to.
It's version of events, but it's not truth.
But then they're with. So what they were trying to do is, say for example, they're trying to pin something on somebody, innit? So they're taking the truth, which is like, I guess, the fair thing to do in the situation, innit?